Hello, and welcome to Math 303. My name is Ahmad Kadri, and I will be one of the instructors for this course. And today I will go over some of the concepts for this course. But before I do that, I will introduce the course to you, go over the syllabus, and show you where you will be doing some of the assignments in this class. So let's first open the course syllabus that is available in the course menu, learning modules, and the option tab here, start here. So once you click on that and you scroll down, you'll see that the course syllabus is available here. You also have a PDF of the syllabus available. So let's just open this. And this has excellent information included here. We start off with a brief course description. And as you will find out that this course is mostly just about regression models, various regression models, but we will start off with multiple regression. We have the required materials given here. So you will be using ZyBook for applied statistics for science, technology, engineering, and math. So this is where the book is available. So please make sure to sign up for the book. This is also where you will be doing the homework assignments. The grading, the grade distribution is given here. So we have discussions in this course, um, a total of 5 discussions, and here are the points per item. And then we have discussions for modules 4 and 7 that carry more points. And we will find out why that is. But 2 of these discussions are worth 50 points. The discussion for module 8 is worth 40 points, and that's mostly because that is the only assignment that will be due in module 8. ZyBook assignments, so these are questions that you will be solving within the textbook. There are 7 of them, 30 points each, so that's 210 points. And this book is interactive book, so you'll see that you'll have a very um, it's a fun learning experience when you go over the content as well as the homework problems in the book. And then we have problem sets. These problem sets you will be submitting within Brightspace. And in addition to submitting them, you will be submitting a summary report. But before you submit that summary report, you will go over R scripts, and you will basically run those R scripts. You'll get your outputs, and then based on what you've learned in the week, you will provide your interpretation of those outputs. And that also is a good time to discuss um, the programming aspect of the course. We will be using our programming language um, to go over some of the calculations. So, in the process of learning regression modeling, you will also be learning some really nice features of our programming language that is very commonly used in the industry today. So, it's a really good learning experience, um, not just from the content perspective, but also, obtaining this skill set that is very much in demand today. And then there are 2 projects, and those projects you will be again submitting in Brightspace. We will be discussing the projects in more details in the coming weeks. So this is the grade distribution given here. Here is the grades associated with the points, numerical points. Here's a really nice weekly assignment schedule, and I highly recommend that you go over this so you know what you will be submitting. And some of the policies and compliance statements. So here are the assignments for Module 1. The first assignment, 1-1 tutorials, is non-graded, but it includes excellent information on ZyBook, which is the interactive textbook that you will be using, and also the environment where you will be doing your R scripts. So I highly recommend that you go over this even though it is non-graded. The second assignment is Jupyter Notebook link assignment prep. So this link is a link to Codio, which is a cloud-based system that runs Jupyter Notebook, and this is where you will be running the R scripts for your given models. Each week, we will introduce you to a regression model, and you will go through that model step by step so that you can learn how to create a model um, for that week and how to do some of the basic interpretations of that model. And then um, you will be expected to do a model on your own, which is going to be given in 1-5 assignment, module 1 problem set. So you will do this step to gain some experience in developing multiple regression models using R, and then you will be given a model to create on your own. And this is very sort of like simple. Uh, you shouldn't be intimidated by this at all because the models that you are given are very similar to the one um, that you're going to solve on in this step, which is really just an example model. So you will have an example to go over. This is a step-by-step process. You learn how to create the model, how to use R programming language, and then you will do a model on your own. And basically, the steps will be the same. And then we have 1-3 discussion. So each week you have a discussion that you will be working on. And just like before, if you've taken any other courses, the discussion has two important elements to it. One is the initial thread, which is due every Thursday, end of day Thursday. And then you have to submit two response threads by Sunday. So the discussion is going to be very much on the assignment prep here and the module 1 problem set. So the nice thing here is that working on the discussion will actually help you prepare for your module 1 problem set. And it will also help you understand the example model that you will do in this step. Then we have ZyBook activities, which are essentially just some questions, interactive questions that are included in the textbook. So please make sure to do them as well. They are a part of the course, and your instructor will take the grades from ZyBook and they will transfer them into Brightspace. So you will also have a grade for ZyBooks. And then um, you have 1-6 review project 1. Project 1 is not due in week 1. But it is a good time to at least start to look at it and see what it's about. So this is just a review, just to take a look at it, see what the project is about. And I can assure you that if you do well in understanding the example models and then developing your own models that are given in the problem sets, if you do well in these two steps, you will be just fine in these projects. So my recommendation for module 1 or any other modules is to first start with reading the sections in ZyBook. So these are, for example, the sections to read in module 1. Reading the sections will give you a good understanding of what you will be working with during the week. It will help you prepare for the example models that you will be introduced to, as well as the models that you will be doing in the problem sets. So please make sure to do the reading first, and then make sure to finish the ZyBook activities within those reading sections. These activities are essentially just the questions that you have to solve within ZyBook. It's an interactive book, so you will just solve them within the book, and your instructor will then take the grades from those sections and transfer them over to Brightspace. So that's a good second step after you've read the sections. The third most logical step is to do the assignment prep. which is the R script in Jupyter Notebook. This R script will introduce you to an example model, and then after you've worked on that example model, you will be ready to work on the problem set. So this is a good logical next step. Um, this will introduce you to an example model where you will go through various steps of creating that multiple regression model and analyzing the outputs, including some key statistics for that model. So this will basically be a good foundation um, for you to do your problem set. After you've done this, the next most logical step is to do the discussion, which is the specifically the first deadline for the initial thread. That deadline is going to be on Thursday, so it would be a good idea to finish the sections and the questions before Thursday, and to at least have gone over the various steps of creating the model um, by Thursday, so that you can at least post your initial thread. In your initial thread, you are not expected to know the details of the model. As you'll see that some of the questions here are going to be very much just general questions, at least for the initial thread. And then the response thread comes later, and my recommendation is to work on that later and not in this step here. After you've done this, then after the first Thursday deadline, the next most logical step is to work on your problem set. So make sure you finish your problem set. It does involve a lot of various questions and a summary report. So please make sure to have this started by Thursday or Friday. That'll give you 2 to 3 days to complete your problem set and prepare the summary report. And after you've completed your summary report, you can then work on the response thread, your two response threads for the discussion that are going to be due on Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So I think that this makes the most sense. Obviously, some students will prefer these assignments in different order, and that's totally okay. Um, so please just take my recommendations as just one option that makes the most sense to me. Um, and you are more than welcome to work on these in any order you would like. Let's now navigate to Module 1 and see where the various assignments are located. So let's go to Course menu, Learning Modules, and once there, we will click on Module 1, and here you'll see these various links to the assignments. So ZyBook can be accessed through this link. So let's click on Resources. And once here, you'll see the section numbers are located here, and they're linked to the ZyBook, um, the textbook, the interactive textbook. So if I click on this, it'll open um, ZyBook here, and it'll open 1.1 section, which is the one where you'll start reading this week. Please make sure to read the section numbers that you are required to do. So for example, in week 1, you have to do sections 1.1 through 1.6, 4.1 through 4.7, and 7.1 to 7.2. These are the sections to read. Um, and so you'll see that this is the content for 1.1. So you're going to read all of that. And then here are the participation activities that you are required to complete. And so please make sure to do these activities. The nice thing here is that the content is given right here, is followed up with excellent visuals to help students understand the material. And then the question is given right below the content that you just read. So it's a really good learning experience in my opinion. So once you have read all the sections and once you have finished all the participation activities, the nice thing is that ZyBook will automatically grade it within the textbook for you, and then your instructor will transfer over that grade into Brightspace. So please make sure to give your instructor some time to transfer those grades into Brightspace so that you can see um, your grades within the Grade Center. So this is how you will do the participation activities in ZyBook. So going back to Module 1, the next step, let's go over the assignment prep. So this is where you will be um, doing your uh, the models for problem sets, but also this is the place where you will be introduced to the to various example models. So let's click on this assignment prep Jupyter Notebook link. So once the link opens, this is what you're going to see. Now we are in Codio. And in Codio, you will see the script is given right here, Module 1 Problem Set Jupyter Notebook. So this is the notebook that you will be working with. So please do not click on any other files here. Just click on this problem set link for Module 1, and this will open the script. And in the script, you are given some directions right here, some information on the script. So please make sure to read that. You are provided these different steps. Okay, so step 1, step 2, step 3. Please make sure to go over the script as you run the script to go step by step because each step is sort of dependent on the previous step. So you have to run the previous step before you run that one step. So starting off with step 1, where you will be loading the data set. So this gives you some information on the data set that you're working with. And um, so here's the information on that step. And then the code block is right under um, the directions for that step. So here are here's the here's the code that will load the dataset for you from this file mtcars.csv. And again, this information is provided here, and there's also a link to the dataset. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is programmed in R. So my recommendation to you is not to just run the script, but also try to understand, try to follow these different steps here, different functions in R that you can use uh, to um, to do your analysis. So in order to run each step, all you have to do is simply highlight first. Well, first read the information for the step. So make sure you understand what that step does, and then after that, highlight. Just click here on the code block and hit the run button. So once you hit the run button, it will execute that step. So for example, in this step, it's providing you with the variables here, so the variable names and what kind of variables they are. As you'll see, some are numeric and some are factor variables. And then here it also provides it gives you a visual of the data set, so you can see what the data set looks like. This also gives you some other options. For example, here you'll see this step prints the first 10 rows. And so if we scroll down, here's that step. The head function in R is used to print the first 10 rows of the data set, or however many rows, the top rows you want to print. So this is as easy as that. And then you'll go through these various steps. You'll read the information about it. You'll execute that step to see what it outputs, and then you'll try to make some sense of what is the output about, and very simple. So as you go through this step, it will show you the model, the example model that you're creating. For example, in step 6, you can see this is the model that you are given as an example. Okay, so this is the model that you will be working with um, to see how this model is created and then to see how various statistics of this model are analyzed. And then you'll go through all of these steps, and then once you are done with them, um, here is where you will write your own code to do the problem set. Now the problem set does not involve the same model as the homework, sorry, as the model that you just worked with here in the example. The example is just meant for you to get familiar with how you can use R to create models, and then in the problem set you are given a model to create. So you will basically just follow the same steps, and all you'll have to do is just change the variable names to create that model. And um, we will post another video going over some of that. So next is the discussion for the week. So let's click on this. So here is the discussion prompt. So please make sure to read the prompt here. Um, Here are the questions for your initial post. So these are the questions that you will be addressing um, before the end of day Thursday this week. So please make sure to have at least completed the assignment prep in Codio. Make sure you understand the various step involved. You don't necessarily need to know exactly what the statistics are there, as you'll see that some of these, well, actually most of these questions are really just general in nature. Um, Please make sure to just address these questions, but also to have at least run through the various steps in Choreo scripts. Um, and then in your response post that is due on Sunday, end of day, you'll need to submit two response threads. So this will be responses to other students. So here are the questions, the two questions that you will be addressing in your responses. So kindly make sure to submit this by end of day Sunday. Next is 1-4 ZyBook activities. So if you recall, these are the activity problems included within the ZyBook sections. So as you're reading those sections and you're completing the problems, then this activity is completed. So please make sure to do these questions when you're reading the ZyBook sections. And then, um, although the grades for this activity will be within the ZyBook, but your instructor will transfer them over into Brightspace so that you can see your grade there. Then we have Module 1 problem set. This is the problem set that is due at the end of the week. This includes a model that you will create on your own. So you will use the assignment prep, the example model that's included here, um, to understand the model building process using R, and then you will apply that to the model that is requested here. So just to make sure that you understand that the model included in the problem set is not the same model that is included here in the assignment prep. The assignment prep model is just an example model to help you understand the process of establishing a regression model for a given response variable. And then you will um, follow the directions here and create this model on your own. The nice thing is that the steps, the R coding steps, are going to be exactly the same like the ones that are in the assignment prep here. Uh, the only difference will be that you will be working with um, different variable names. So let's click on this and see what we have here. So let's click on this and we will then click on requirements and rubric. So this is some information um, on it gives you an overview of the assignment, gives you the prompts. This is valuable information on what exactly you will be doing in the problem set, and then also provides guidelines for the submission as well as the rubric that will be used to grade your problem set. The one important key step here is Module 1 Problem Set Report Template. This is the summary report template that you will use um, to fill in basically um, paragraphs responding to the questions. And then once completed, this summary report is the one that you will submit in Brightspace. Okay, so let's click on this and see what it looks like. So here is the summary report for problem set 1. So this is the title page. Make sure you edit this to have your name and your new email address. And then here are the different sections of the report that um, you should address. So for example, the introduction part is where you should address these questions. Please make sure to read the directions here. Um, this report should not be completed in a question and answer format. These questions are essentially just um, directions on what you should include in your paragraph response. So that's why it says here, remove all questions and this note before submitting. Answer the questions in a paragraph response. So please make sure to include paragraph, include all relevant details that address these questions. Your instructors will basically grade uh, this problem set report based on um, uh, the relevancy of your responses to these questions.